Li Auto built its entire brand on being the perfect family car. So why does their new flagship look like it was designed for a business-class lounge at 35,000 feet? On May 15th at 3 p.m. Beijing time, Li Auto is officially launching the next-generation L9, and they're calling this version the L9 Livis. But before that launch event even happens, they've already dropped a teaser campaign showing off the interior, and it's genuinely unlike anything they've built before. I'll be honest, I expected an evolution. A nicer screen here, softer leather there. What they actually revealed is closer to a full reinvention. The design language they're using internally is something like luxurious relaxation. The idea that every surface, every seat position, every piece of ambient lighting should feel less like a car and more like a high-end hotel suite you happen to be moving through. The front cabin gets a massive connected display, and from the teasers, there's no visible black border around it, which is a detail that sounds minor until you see the difference in person. I'd argue that borderless screens are one of those things that immediately signal whether a brand is serious about premium or just checking a box. Li Auto appears to be serious. And then there's the rear. This is where things get genuinely interesting. Let's talk about the back seats, because this is clearly where Li Auto spent most of their engineering budget on the Livis trim. The rear screen setup is described as a sliding configuration, meaning the display can physically move to adjust to different seating positions and use cases. Pair that with what's being called zero-gravity seat recline, inherited apparently from the Mega, Li Auto's luxury MPV, and you start to understand what they're going for. This isn't a seat that tilts back. It's a seat that redistributes your body weight across multiple pressure points so that long journeys feel fundamentally different. Now, I think this is where Li Auto is making a genuinely clever strategic move, and also where I was wrong about something. A year ago, I said the Mega's interior tech was too niche, too MPV-specific to migrate into the SUV lineup. Clearly, Li Auto disagreed. And looking at the Livis, I have to concede they were right to push it. The Mega's cabin philosophy translates surprisingly well into a three-row SUV format. For context, the rear seat experience in a Range Rover or a Mercedes GLS, cars that cost similar money in China, is comfortable but fundamentally passive. You sit in it. The Livis rear is designed to actively respond to you. That's a different product category, even if it looks like an SUV from the outside. Here's the bigger picture question. Why does this matter beyond one car? Li Auto has always sold itself on a very specific promise: the best car for Chinese families. Practical, spacious, extended range, so range anxiety disappears, and priced in a sweet spot that undercuts German luxury without feeling cheap. That formula worked. The L9, L8, L7, they've been consistent bestsellers in their segments. But the Livis trim is something different. The name itself, Livis, appears to be positioning this as a sub-brand or at least a distinct tier. Think of it like BMW's M Division or Mercedes's AMG, except instead of performance, the differentiation is pure luxury experience. Li Auto's founder was asked directly at Beijing Auto Show whether the brand would ever do a sedan, and his response was essentially, "We're focused on making the SUV experience so good that the question becomes irrelevant." I think that's the right call, actually. The Chinese luxury sedan market is brutally competitive right now. NIO, Zeekr, Xpeng are all fighting over that space. Li Auto staying in the SUV lane and going deeper into ultra-premium territory is a smarter use of their brand equity. The risk? This car needs to justify a price point that will almost certainly push into the 600,000 to 800,000 yuan range. That's roughly 80,000 to 110,000 US dollars. At that price, you're not just competing with BYD anymore. You're standing next to a Lexus LX or a Cadillac Escalade and asking buyers to choose you instead. That's a much harder conversation. So where do I land on this before May 15th? I think the L9 Livis interior reveal is one of the more genuinely impressive pre-launch campaigns I've seen from a Chinese brand. Not because of the hype, but because the specific details they're teasing are defensible. The borderless screen, the sliding rear display, the Mega-derived seats, these aren't vaporware promises. They're technologies Li Auto has already shipped in other vehicles. That gives me more confidence than usual that the production version will actually deliver. What I'm uncertain about is the price. Li Auto has historically been disciplined about value positioning. If the Livis trim lands above 700,000 yuan, they're entering territory where Chinese buyers get very selective very fast, and where the brand's family-friendly reputation might actually work against them rather than for them. Ultra-premium buyers in China want exclusivity. Best family car is not the story they're buying. But if Li Auto prices this aggressively, say 550,000 to 650,000 yuan, then they might have something that genuinely disrupts the import luxury SUV market in a way nobody has managed yet. I'll be watching the May 15th event closely, and I want to know what you think. Is a Chinese SUV with a hotel suite rear cabin actually a threat to a Range Rover at this price point, or is brand prestige still the deciding factor for buyers at this level? Tell me in the comments. And if you want my full reaction the moment that launch event drops, subscribe. I'll have it up fast. Subscribe and hit the bell. I'm covering the May 15th Li Auto L9 Livis launch live. And drop your answer below. At $80,000, does a Chinese SUV beat a Range Rover on cabin quality alone, or does badge prestige still win?